When it comes to soundbars, Samsung has always been one of the best options out there. Today we are going to unbox and set up Samsung HW-B750F. Okay, so here's the front of it, and on here you'll see where it's got the branding nameplate. There is a speaker with a soft covering right here. This is the back. It's got the big old hole here for the subwoofer outlet. The power cord goes here, and then here is an ID set button that you push here to get it paired up with a soundbar. All right, so let's see what's inside the bag here. The bag full of goodies. So they give you the power cables for one for the subwoofer, one for the soundbar. And good, they give me an optical cable here. I was kind of wondering that if I was going to have to order this separately, because a lot of times some of these companies will save costs by not sending you the right cables that you need. But here's the optical cable that I'll use to tie this in directly into the TV. Here's the other end of the power plug in the soundbar. A lot of times these square parts here are so beefy. This one kind of the medium size. The user manual, I don't know who reads these things. Okay, 2 angle brackets here to mount the soundbar if you were going to mount this onto the wall. I have a tendency of losing these things, but I'm going to be setting mine on the console underneath the TV right there, so I won't be using this. This right here is another part of the mounting bracket that kind of helps support, push it out from the wall. Some more nuts and bolts if you were going to hang it onto the wall. And now here is the remote. I'm always interested to see what the remotes on these things look like. Batteries. I always get these off the wall mainframe batteries. This one's called Mustang. Who's ever heard of that? Why can't they send me like a Duracell or Energize? Now the remote looks similar to the TV remote that I had, the Samsung TV remote. Let me show you the difference. Here is a TV remote right here, soundbar TV. So you can see they're pretty similar, but I imagine once I get the soundbar hooked up, I would really hope that I can get it hooked up to using just one remote, because I hate having to use 2 remotes. So we'll see how that pairs up with it and see if we can just use the one remote, the TV remote. I'll go ahead and put the batteries in to the soundbar remote. Okay, everything's unboxed here. I'm going to go ahead and get all the power cables hooked up into the subwoofer and the soundbar and get it up there and get it plugged in and get it set. Okay, on the back side of this, there is a USB output. There's an auxiliary in output, a digital. This is where the optical cable is that I will be using to be plugging in from here into the TV. And on the other side here, they got an HDMI in, and then they've got the TV arc out. So this is the other HDMI arc out, and then right here is the power outlet, DC 24 volt. This is all on the back side. Okay, everything's all hooked in here now. Soundbar is displayed underneath the TV. I was a little bit concerned about that once I got the soundbar on there, because I didn't know how high it was going to be to the bottom of the television there. And it's like right there. It's almost perfect. And then I got a little bit concerned to see if the sensors would still be able to read a remote control, but it's fine. I don't even know where the sensors are on that TV. They're really hidden and discreet, so I don't know if they're in the screen somewhere, but now whenever I turn up the volume, you'll see it says AV soundbar. Automatically recognizes the make and the model of the soundbar. There's a plus symbol that lights up on the corner. So it signifies on the soundbar and it signifies on the television. Okay, the subwoofer is connected to the soundbar. Let me tell you, I've never experienced such an easier setup process than this right here. The way this works is once you plug in the subwoofer right here, it automatically connects to the soundbar right away. So that you don't even need to push in the button on there to pair it. It automatically did that. And one of the ways that you can tell if it is paired is on the back side of the subwoofer. You'll see that there's a blue light right there shining. So that means that it is connected. Another little bit of information: if it is blue, that means that it is connected. If it's red, then that means that there's an issue in the setup process. And if it's blinking blue and red together, then that means there is a malfunction. So make sure you watch the indicator light. But I don't think you should have any problems if you're hooking this up Seems simple enough. Now you are able to hook this up wirelessly via Bluetooth, but I mean, if they give you one of those optical cables, I really recommend to go direct line in. Sometimes you never know what kind of issues that you'll have going through wireless through Bluetooth technology. I know it's pretty solid, Bluetooth is, but if you can go wired in, definitely do that. So that's what I did, wired in. Okay, so the good thing is we were able to use the TV remote for the soundbar and TV together, so I will only be using one remote. No need to have two different remotes, one to run a soundbar or one to run a TV. Everything will be accessed through this one right here. This is a TV remote, so I like that. Less remotes is better. Okay, so we're going to do a little sound test to give you guys, I know it's going to be hard for you guys to really tell, maybe, depending on what kind of sound system that you have, if it's coming through your computers. But I'll give you guys a little test of what it's going to sound like. And I just did a little trial run. Let me tell you, it is a big difference between using a soundbar and just using the speakers on the TV. It gets pretty loud without having to turn it up very far. So much so that my wife is sitting behind me and she started squinting her eyes like that because it was just getting kind of loud for her. But listen in. Okay, so that sounded pretty good. I'm very pleased with this purchase so far. Sounds like it's going to be a really good soundbar. Now, something to note here, the bass there, it pushes out through the back. In my particular surroundings, I've got it on a cornered wall right here. But when it pushes out, it kind of travels up, so we could hear the bass really well. I know everybody's environment is going to be a little bit different. I do have a higher ceiling, so some of the sound that comes out from the top of the speakers is going to have to travel up quite a ways to kind of fill the room, but it does push out from the ends here. We can hear that perfectly fine. So if you do have a lower ceiling, you should be able to hear it and get all that rich sound that comes from this sound bar. But yeah, it's pretty easy to set up and it sounds fantastic. So hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it was, click a thumbs up on this. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I make tech videos all the time, and I would love to have you back in the next one. Take care.